Can Dance.
We are
You
live.
didn't say my friend Jenny.
And my friend Jenny. See, you got to stay it over. I said I was going to mess up on this live.
Hello, it's Can Dance.
And my friend Jenny.
And we're live. We
We're
can't believe
live.
it. We can't believe it.
Thank y'all so much for subscribing. And now we get to do live videos.
And we have a community wall.
And we have a community wall, yes. And we've had a great week.
And we're going to tell you all about it.
We are. It's been amazing. And we are going to tell you about it. So, what do you think?
I'm ready. Are y'all ready?
Are y'all ready?
Because well, first of all, we want to say we are, it's our first live stream, so we may fumble the ball a little bit.
We might.
But we do have an expert with us.
We do.
That's going to help us.
She is.
That has helped us get all the way up to here. So
it's Ron Hensley, Nicole, Kenny, look at that, Barbara DaCosta, Tina Reddington.
I know. Hello, everybody.
Everybody, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, we are just beyond excited.
We are.
And humble.
That
people would either join us and listen to anything we got to say.
That's the truth.
That's right. So,
we want our guest, though.
We want our guest.
She'll help us through this.
Now, she loved our backseat juror idea.
She did.
And she wants to be backseat juror number 7.
Number 7. I love that number.
Love that number.
Go with that.
I mean, that's a number. We looked earlier. It was 7 people waiting.
Yes.
She said, I'm backseat juror number 7. And so, I mean, without further ado.
Let's bring her out here.
We're going to bring her on. Okay? I might need to get the air up a little bit.
We might.
Here we go.
Here we go.
My mama used to leave me in the car while she went shopping.
Oh, no.
My mama's probably done that a time or two. I mean, back in the day, she would leave the windows down.
It was a little more, safe back then, maybe.
It was a couple of kids in the car.
That's right.
It was a couple of kids in the car. In case you don't know who she is, I mean, I know she really don't need introduction.
No,
but
we don't
this
think
is
so.
KJ.
Yes, it is.
And backseat juror number 7.
Yes, I am backseat juror number 7. Now, we had juror number 1.
We did.
Last time, so what happened to 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6? Well, I was born 7 pounds, 7 ounces.
All right.
And honestly, when we were getting ready for this very first live stream, there were 7 people waiting. So all you 7 people, I love you, love you, love you.
That's right. And we do too.
Yes. And we've been seeing some comments go up. I caught some of the names on there. If I missed your name, I'm sorry. There's Brittany Turney. But she's
Hey, Brittany. How's it going? Thank y'all so much for being here. These ladies rock. We've had an incredible week, and hopefully y'all went on the journey with us. There were some things that we didn't pre-record or live stream, but maybe down the road we'll discuss it a bit.
That's right. That's right.
That sounds good.
So in preparing for our first ever live stream, KJ told us to come up with some questions about the case.
That's right.
And some personal questions.
That's right.
Yeah, you know, anytime that I've ever really wanted to try to learn about this case, it's all of y'all that visit KJ and the Ray. Y'all come up with so many good questions, and sometimes I can go look for them and I don't find the answer, but it leads me to other answers. So I want to thank all of y'all that visit KJ and the Ray, and for those that love Can Dance and my friend Jenny, you've got a good judge of character.
Well, we appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. We appreciate these amazing shirts that KJ gave us that say subscribe and has a like.
That's right.
We love them.
Well, I'll tell you what, I knew it wouldn't be long before y'all would hit your subscription number. we know that's not really what it's about, but I know y'all have been biting at the bit to be able to go live with everyone so that y'all can interact with each other. I remember my first live stream. It was nail biting, but all of y'all helped me through it. You've educated me, and I love all of y'all, and I love you, Candace, and my friend Jenny.
And
we love you, KJ.
Yes, we do. Well, I mean, we said that at the same time. We do.
That's right. So, without further ado, let's get into some questions.
Do not disturb. I'm sorry about that. Sorry to my son when he watches this video. I hope he calls his dad. I love you. Hope everything's okay.
I do too. I hope everything's okay. So we're gonna take turns. Okay. I'm gonna ask the first question to KJ about the case, and then you'll ask a question.
Okay.
So my first question is, do you remember the first time you heard about the children, Laura and Chad, and what was your first impression?
Ooh, I've gotten a lot of comments from many of the people that visit KJ and the Ray. I guess all I can say is the very first time that I really homed in on it was when I saw Chad and Lori walking down the sidewalk and Nate Eaton was trying to interview them. And I saw this beautiful woman and this lumpy dumpy man walking hand in hand. And I didn't understand what was going on. And as many of the people that follow KJ's channel, I thought the children were hidden somewhere because my mind did not want to wrap it. I just didn't want to wrap that around my head that this could be what it ultimately ended up becoming.
Right.
So that was my first time. I had heard about what had gone on in Arizona, but I didn't know there was a connection there until after that event in Hawaii. But when those two got put together, when Arizona and the Idaho and Hawaii incidents, and it all started to unfold, and I didn't know where the children were, the children's family members, Kresha, Larry Kay, and other family members were doing everything they could to get Lori to tell them where the children were. It just, it became obvious in my own heart and mind that something terrible had happened, and I felt kind of ashamed because I was like, why would I think the worst, And I kept shaking that feeling off. But now I know, as I sit here today, that, and y'all know what I'm talking about when it comes to your intuition and your deep sense of things. I was right, but I wish more than anything I would have been wrong.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. Okay, so here's my first question. How much do you think Melanie Gibb and Melanie P really knew?
Do we even need to go there?
Well, yeah, probably not.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm going to that trial in January, and I pray to the Lord in heaven that I don't run into Melanie Gibb or Melanie P, because it's not going to be pretty. No one wants to see OKJ on the 5 o'clock news, okay? But I believe for sure that both women knew what was going on. If everyone remembers, and you can go back and watch it, Zulima's interview with police, she spoke to the detectives and said, you can confirm it, that her and Alex and Melanie P were supposed to go to Hawaii with Lori and Chad. So that tells you everything you need to know. And the icing on the cake is it was Zulima, Melanie P, and Melanie Gibb out behind Zulima's house speaking code words. They were in it, and they need to be prosecuted, and they need their butts sent to jail.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
I agree.
I mean, 100%. I mean,
and we hope to talk more about Melanie Gibb.
It's right. We're researching a little bit about that. But I do believe that when we get to the trial and there's all this text message evidence and phone calls and where people were meeting up, the picture will become clearer that they won't be able to deny, right?
I think so.
So my second question about the case is, what has been the impact of following this case had on you as a human being?
That's a really good question, and I think a lot of people can relate to this. When something so evil and terrible happens, you reach for justice. You want justice to be implemented. You want to see it in motion. The biggest impact is being able to meet the victim's family members, Cresha, Larry, and Kay. That's been the biggest impact on me, getting to know Cresha and her channel, Difficult Research. Knowing that some good's got to come out of all this, and it's got to be real. It's got to be genuine. It can't be glossed over. And we're sure as hell not going to beat a dead horse. We want justice.
Absolutely.
All of us want it. It broke my heart. It opened me up and made me think about, all the things that these children and Charles and Tammy represented. We know people like this in our lives. We have children of our own, some grandchildren, an uncle like Charles. We all can see these victims represented in our own families for the most part. And so it burns my biscuits, and I know that y'all feel the same way.
Yes, we do. We absolutely do. All right. So my next question is, do you think the Daybell children really believe that Chad was framed? That's what they said in that interview, that he's framed, he's been framed. Do you think they really believe that, or do you think somebody's telling them to say this?
I think first of all, they know everything that we know. There's no doubt if somebody wants to say that Emma or Garth or any of the rest of them have steered clear of all this stuff, everything from smutty novels that Chad wrote about James and Elena and Raphael and Lily, and how their mama was Viola, and Julie Rose's spirit is knocking on Tammy's door and it's almost time for Tammy to die. I would say they have gotten well fed on that, but with this said, this goes back to, I can only see it for what I do. I think they want to believe this. Mm-hmm. I really do. I don't think they want to go there and look at the truth of the matter. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, I think Canaan's had a good point in one of her pre-records where she talked about that, John Pryor, he gave the okay for Emma and them to go on that national TV show.
Right.
He's the one that's got the name on the deed. He's the one that allowed them to record and bring a camera into the backyard where their children were found. And he is the one that gave the okay to throw that defense strategy out there. That's just an opinion.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably right. And if not, if they are in denial, they've already lost their mom. Now they're, it would be hard to believe that your dad would do something like that. But with the evidence, I don't know how they think he was framed.
And we talked about it earlier about how even since this case came about, the state of social media and getting out there to the public, your position, we don't really know the impact that truly has in the courtroom, but we know what the impact has in the general public.
That's exactly right.
So people now are doing two battles, right? In the courtroom and in the court of public opinion. Mm-hmm. And
I got a quick question.
Go ahead.
Do you think that Emma or Garth or the rest of the kids have visited their dad in jail or called him on the phone?
Yes.
What do you think those conversations theoretically could be about?
Well, I think that I've never talked to someone who's in jail, but I know that all those phone calls, letters are recorded. They review everything that you send them. So I believe that they probably say just general stuff, maybe code.
Could be.
But, that's what I think. What do you think?
Don't you find it?
He could have been taught. He talks in code. They probably heard him talk in code his whole life.
Yeah, we got to remember that they were raised the way they were, and we're not really sure what their father taught them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And for all we know, although we find it crazy, that's the word of the day, crazy. Kresha and I had said it so many times when I was down in Louisiana. The bottom line is if you're raised in that, and they truly believe their father had these near-death experiences and that he could see beyond the veil and all this other stuff, we just don't know. All we can do is theorize and hypothesize about it.
That's right. So the next question, which I came up with these questions when you told me to. I didn't know that our month was going to be surprise, but surprise is in my question.
Oh, no.
What has been the biggest surprise about the evidence in the case so far to you?
Oh, my gosh. That is a big question, Candace. I would say the Chandler dump was very enlightening. I'm sorry I can't be more specific, but when we started seeing the text messages, when we found out that Chad was talking to Lori during his wife's funeral, when we heard Alex calling Tammy, you know, the warden's wife, and then you've got Chad talking about, you know, he's Harry Potter under the stairs and all that crap. That really, when they dumped that out, it took me so long to go through it. I could have never got through it without everyone's help on KJ and the Ray. What do y'all think was one of the biggest evidentiary things that you can remember?
You go.
No, you go first. Let me think a minute.
See, they're gonna lay a question like that in my lap, and now they're sitting here having to think.
I know.
For a long time, you know, it was a lot of theory and hypothesis that they maybe had pushed Tylee, or I thought people were kind of saying maybe they had pushed her into one of those hot springs or whatever those are, gaseous things in Yellowstone. So when they actually found them in the backyard, I was a little bit surprised about that. I really was. I mean, I sort of can think why he may have buried them there, to keep an eye on them and know what was constantly going on with that ground. It's his property. But, yeah, I was a little bit surprised about that. And then the condition, I told you, I was surprised about them finding them in the backyard. I was completely shocked when I found the condition that they were found in. But I'm hopeful that they will be able to find the cause and all the evidence that they need to really slam the door on these two.
Yeah. Well, and I'm totally shocked about that. I'm shocked that he had the nerve to bury them in the backyard. But I'm also shocked, you know, when you do read these text messages from him, this smutty novel from him, the fact that she would even talk to him, I mean, he just sounds, it makes me want to throw up. It honestly does. So when you see all that evidence, it just, I mean, they both make me sick. They both make me sick.
I mean, I don't know what she saw in him.
Me either.
Maybe she liked that big old fat chin.
Oh gosh.
My God.
Well, y'all are the ones that asked me to
we asked.
7 here. I'm just gonna lay it all. Hey,
We did.
I'm gonna tell you what, Chad Daybell makes me want to puke.
Yes,
Yes.
me too.
And I hope Bubba gets a hold of him in the prison. And I hope he has to deal with him the rest of his days.
Me too.
And I hope Bubba plays Twister with him in the common room.
Me too. I'm with you on that for sure.
Or hide the checkers.
That's, oh my gosh.
That just came up. It just came up.
Where are they gonna hide the checkers, Candace? Where can they put the checkers?
Oh gosh. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Okay, so do you think Lori was there when the children were killed, or do you think she just had Chad and Alex do it? Do you think she was present?
I think Lori is a coward. I think she planned it. I think she wanted it to happen. No, it wasn't because she was brainwashed or anything else, but she's too much of a coward. She left it in the hands of her crazy son. I mean, might as well been her son, Alex, her brother.
Right.
She left it in his hands, the instrument of murder. And Chad helped him along too. There's no way Alex did all this by himself. Alex would have never, what would have it benefited Alex to do this by himself?
Nothing.
Lori and Chad ordered it. That's why there was money in that duffel bag, just enough money for Zulema. Alex was a paid mercenary, and he was the instrument of murder. And Lori, she just got to think whatever she wanted to. What we talked about it before, she self-deceived herself. She wanted to believe these things. You can talk yourself into all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Lori knew the deal. She walked away from the 2 children that loved her and needed to be protected by her.
Yep.
That's right. So the next question is, of what evidence are you expecting to hear in the trial that we have not had privy to at this time? What are you looking for that's really going to help us seal the deal?
The autopsy reports. Specifically Tammy's autopsy report. There is no way that the state of Idaho would charge Chad Daybell with first-degree murder on top of conspiracy to commit murder, along with Lori having the same conspiracy to commit murder, unless they had it on the updated autopsy that they have found the cause of death, which is i.e. homicide. The children, on the other hand, some don't want to hear it. Rob Wood said something and alluded to it to Summer Shiflett when he said that they may never know what happened to Tylee. But I guarantee you they're going to find out and be able to lay it out exactly about little JJ, because he was well preserved. You can go back, look at the probable cause affidavit of Ron Ball or Ray Hermosillo, and they were there. He was well preserved, down to his cute little haircut. And I can't wait to see Lori and Chad get the death penalty or go to prison the rest of their life.
Absolutely.
So if Tammy and JJ's autopsy report are very close, we can probably conclude that that is what happened to Tylee. But the condition that she was found in, what they did to her, I mean, the jury's going to hear all that.
They're going to see it. They're going to see pictures.
They will see it, and that will leave a just unreal feeling on them. And picture in their brain.
Yeah, a melted green bucket. A melted green bucket sitting up on an autopsy table. You can be sure, folks, there are going to be some mad people, not only sitting in that courtroom, the victim's family members, and I hate it for them. I wish they didn't have to go through it, but people from all over the country and the world. They're not going to get to see that stuff, but they're going to hear about it.
That's right.
And, I thank God that I don't have to see that. Even though I'm going to be at that trial, I will look you in the face right now and tell you, when the coroner comes on and they start showing pictures, KJ's not going to look.
No.
No one's going to make me look.
No, I would not be able to either. Me either. Okay, so where do you think Lori and Chad would be today if they had never met each other? Do you think one or both of them would have committed some crime by now if they'd never met each other? What do you think?
Lori already, as far as I know, that's her MO.
Oh, yeah.
She was always trying to get out of court hearings that she caused herself. She had been in contempt of court all the way back through Joseph Ryan, and all the way up through all of that. Nobody held her accountable. She became emboldened. She would have went on to do something. Chad, on the other hand, if he would have continued to talk his crazy talk, I just see that he probably wouldn't. I just don't see him not ever doing anything wrong. And in fact, I have a few subscribers on KJ and the Ray that feel like if he did this, and we all know he did, then there is a great possibility that there might be victims out there that happened before that nobody's ever either found or were able to tie to him.
Exactly.
And I know that seems far-fetched, but people don't just do this out of thin air. They have it within them. It's called the psychopath.
Yeah.
It's called narcissism.
Yes.
We're talking about criminal narcissism. We're talking about forensic, just the whole makeup of this man screams. He just screams like some horror movie. He is disgusting.
He is.
And she's no better.
That's right. I 100% agree.
Yes.
So the last question I have about the case, then do you have one more
I have
question,
one more question.
about the question case? After watching Jodi Arias, because I know you did, compare Lori and Jodi, and do you think that Lori Daybell will take the stand like Jodi Arias did?
Okay, now Jodi Arias is diabolical. As I was telling you, I guess it was yesterday, when she went up against Juan Martinez and she got on the stand, even though a lot of her answers didn't make sense and he tripped her up and everything, she held her on. She had a set of balls with hair on them, okay? She did. Jodi Arias was bold. Jodi Arias was evil and diabolical. Lori is evil and diabolical, but Lori sinks into herself and blames everybody else. And yes, Jodi Arias did. She blamed Travis Alexander, but Lori will never, ever, ever be smart enough in her evil, demon-possessed mind to be able to hold herself up against Lindsay Blake or Rob Wood or Rachel Smith. No, she will not take the stand. It would be suicide. She'd rather go back up into the mental hospital, into the spa there, but it ain't happening. I don't think she's going to be able to go back. I think it's a done deal, and she just needs to get used to those damn sack lunches.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, here's my last question about the case. How do you think we can get society to recognize the manipulation of narcissistic people like Lori and Jodi Arias?
Oh, that's a great question, Jenny. And you know, this goes back to watching trials, watching the crime genre and everything. People think that's all about entertainment. I always say, when it comes to the true crime community, I think, and this is just me speaking for myself, when I see these evil acts and this diabolical stuff going on, and it's demonstrated and we find out what's real and what's not, it helps me to protect myself. And I think society, there are a lot of things that need to change in society, but it's not going to happen just because people are getting murdered, because people get murdered every single day. This is a heart issue. This is a spiritual issue. This is just KJ talking to you. This is... people have got to understand that there is a such thing as good and evil, and they've got to be willing. There's always going to be someone out there that's going to do this kind of crap, and society needs to be on their toes. A lot of people think that when you go to the true crime community, it's for entertainment purposes. No, it is not to me, because I want to know what people are capable of so that I can recognize it, so I can keep myself, my family, and my community safe. Not to mention, laws can be enacted to protect the children more, mental health, the list goes on, holding people personally responsible in terms of not throwing a blanket over it and saying, well, it was because of their belief system. These people knew the laws. They knew on a common bare bones level that murder is wrong.
That's right. And
this whole crap that they did it because God told them to do is just a crock.
Yep.
It's just a crock.
So somebody on here just said they have a question. So go ahead and put the question.
You gotta put your finger on it to see the question.
She just wrote, I have a question. She didn't write the question.
Okay.
I think it was Edie
Ruth.
I think it was Edie Ruth that said she had a question.
Do you think Lori believes the world is still coming to a doomsday soon and they will get her off of all of this?
This one's for you, Candace.
She probably hopes that the world comes to an end.
But
she probably hopes that it happens. But I can promise you this, no matter what way she meets the creator of the universe, she is going to 100% have to answer and pay for what she did. And I mean everything she did. Just like I'm going to have to pay for everything I do.
That's right.
Right?
I'm going to pay for everything I do. But I don't think she believes that at all. Because it's
you don't believe... well, she hopes it does.
But I know she probably hopes it. But it's like you said in the last video. She doesn't believe any of what she said.
No. She doesn't believe all this stuff that she wanted everybody to believe.
I don't think so.
She would have came right out to law enforcement.
Exactly.
And she would have said...
She would have let them. She would have said, your child is a zombie. Yeah. You are a zombie.
Right.
You know, that's what she would have said.
Don't y'all find it interesting that the only zombies that they actually physically killed were in her family?
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound kind of strange to y'all? I mean, they were able to pray away 20,000 zombies in Texas. But, you know, they had to step up their game, I guess.
That's right.
It's interesting that it was all tied to life insurance and the price of one, huh?
And money, money.
That's right. And Ron Hensley said she's crafty, not crazy. And that's true.
That's true. It's 100% true. And we're going to see even more of this. I mean, we just have the tip of the iceberg.
What do you think of the Malachite theory, says Tastefully Frugal?
Oh, well, I think Malachite has something to do with it.
With the murders.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, y'all do recall at one of them castings, Melanie P. had her little Malachite with her.
Mm-hmm.
She's the Malachite queen, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
She played a pivotal role in trying to pray away and murder spiritually Charles and the kids. Give me a break.
Yeah.
I think somebody like Lori would wear a Malachite ring, like just to like say, well, I had it right in front of your face the whole time, and just be behind the scenes, just smiling about that on the inside, like they just don't even know I've got it right here in front of them. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Cheap Amazon rings.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're going to switch gears because we want to ask. We know that everybody who follows KJ loves KJ. And so we want to ask her some personal questions, which she's already pre-approved. Okay? Nothing too serious. Nothing too deep.
There's only so much I want to tell the world.
Right. But just some questions that we have for everybody who watches her and loves her that they might find interesting to ask. Right?
Yes.
So, you asked the first one.
Well, you need to ask the first one because I think you have 5 and I have 3. She told me to do 3. And she
okay, sorry. Sorry, I do have a couple.
She does, but
you
that's
can
okay.
read one of mine.
No, you're good. We're good.
Can you tell us a song that describes your life?
A song that describes my life. There's some of the people that follow KJ and the Ray from the day one. Love Will Find a Way by Tesla. That would probably, now I love y'all know I love music, all kinds. Mm-hmm. But Love Will Find a Way is, and you know, and it's really interesting because I do love that song so much. I think about Love Always Wins by Krisha K. Easton in Difficult Research. She nailed it. And I hope y'all don't mind, but I've got to say this. If any of y'all can help with trial court travel costs for Krisha K. Easton and her family, they shouldn't even have to deal with this. Please go to Difficult Research. Do what you can to help, you know, in monetization to help her so that her family doesn't have to bear the burden too bad. It's the best that anyone can do. But yeah, Love Will Find a Way, and I love that song.
And Krisha K sent us through KJ these little bracelets.
Thank you so much, Krisha K.
Justice for JJ and Tylee is mine.
And mine's Justice for JJ, for Tylee, JJ, and Charles.
Yes.
Thank you, Krisha K.
I wanted so much, if you do watch this, Krisha, I wanted so much to bring you down, up here to North Carolina. I'm really hoping at least by the end of this trial next year that maybe we could all have a woman's retreat and we could all do something together. I hope that you might be receptive to that. So,
Rainy April said hers is Tom Petty, American Girl.
Ooh, I love that song, Rainy April.
I do too.
Hi, Sam Willow.
Hi, Sam Willow.
All right.
What's your question?
So my first personal question is, mine are not as deep as Candace's because I was trying to be real careful. What has been your favorite vacation that you've ever had?
In my life?
Yeah, in your life.
Your whole life.
It would have to be when my boys were really young. We took a vacation. We went down to Florida for the very first time. They'd never been on a beach. It would always, my favorite of anything would always have included my children. They're grown up now. I'm an empty nester. But I have enjoyed many vacations. I really, really enjoyed going down to Louisiana to visit with Crescia, Larry and Kay Woodcock. I've enjoyed coming to North Carolina, but I mean, I've traveled a lot, but I would say most any time that I had all three of my boys with me when they were little, and we would experience things, they would experience things for the first time traveling. That would probably be my best answer there.
That is beautiful.
That's beautiful because we're mama's first.
That's right.
Yes.
Always. So my next question is the biggest highlight of your life so far?
Oh, that's easy. The biggest highlight in my life has, accepting Jesus into my heart. The runner-up would be being a mother.
Yes.
So those are the biggest things that's ever happened to me. Nothing will ever top it. I would say, getting married to my husband, who I love very much, is important. But it's that personal belief system, spiritual belief system that I have means everything. It comes first in my life. Although I have a lot of, room to grow and be a better person than I am, being a mother. And I think many of y'all can agree with this. This case touched us. There's many mothers, grandmothers, aunts, sisters, all kinds of women. And there are some men on here who can relate as well. Being a mother has been really a blessing in my life.
Okay. What is something you have never done but have always wanted to do?
Well, if we want to relate this to the here and now, I'd like to jap slap Lori. And I'd like to bend Chad over and take my dang boot and kick him so hard that he runs through the wall. I guess
I'd like to watch that.
I would too. We pay money.
Yes. I actually would like to sit down at a table across from Melanie Gibb, and I would like the detectives. Jenny and I were talking about this earlier. I would love to interrogate Melanie Gibb the right way. I'd love to ask her specificity. I would love to sit across from Melanie Gibb, and I would get my answers. Okay.
I believe that. I believe she would.
I believe too.
Yes.
Hi, Kathy.
And I seen my mama was on here.
Hey,
did you see your mama?
Is she on there?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know
if she
what her
is, but
name
if she's
is.
on there. Hey, Joel, I guess she's just got a choice, I think.
Yeah, sis one, she does. Melanie Gibb triggers me. I remember the first 6 months that I had our channel, the Ray's channel open, that there were people that were still trying to give her a chance because she was, this whole idea of her going to Chad's preliminary hearing and being a state's witness and how it looked like she was, and then this Nate Eaton interview where she's trying to say, I want to be a voice. I want to be a voice for the victims and all this and that. And the very fact that she tried to put her arms around Kay Woodcock to try to gain some kind of favor and make herself look good when Kay Woodcock is more of a woman than this Melanie Gibb will ever be. There was a time where people were like, KJ, you're not giving her a chance. Folks, the woman is knee-deep in criminality.
She is.
She is. I agree.
And others.
Oh, yes. There's a list of them.
All right, KJ, what's been your biggest life lesson?
Oh, that's easy. I've shared that on KJ and the Ray. The biggest life lesson that I've ever learned is that I cannot assume that other people think like me or that I can understand them. You have to come to a place where you have to understand that everyone is their own person. You are the only you you're ever going to be. And so you think the way that you do and you see through your eyes the way you do. So I cannot, I can sit here and feel like, what is coming out of my mouth that people can understand. Well, what if they don't? I've got to be able to understand that they don't understand. How do I do that? I've got to learn how to relate to them. I have to learn how to show them honor and respect. And that's the biggest life lesson. I don't think people take time to realize that just because we understand what we're saying to somebody doesn't mean they understand what we're saying. So
that's right. That's 100%.
That is true. And my last one is like simple, very simple.
These are great questions.
Well, this one is real easy because I'm gonna be real honest about something I love to do when I just want to shut my mind off. I love to sit and watch TV. All kinds of varieties of shows and everything. So what I want to know is what was your favorite television show growing up? What was your favorite?
Y'all are gonna laugh at me.
We won't.
Little House on the Prairie, okay? I loved Laura. I loved Mary. I loved Carolyn and Charles Ingalls and Willie and Nellie and the Olsons and all of the different actors that came on the show. Growing up, I loved Little House on the Prairie.
I loved it too.
I did too. And I think my mom had a little outfit made for me. And my daughter might have wore it that I looked like little Laura. It had the little hat,
saw it in the scrapbook. Y'all should have seen some of the photos.
Yes.
I saw Jenny's bridal picture on the wall, and she looked so beautiful. She's still beautiful.
Oh,
she is.
Sweet.
She so is. Inside and out.
Thank you. Y'all too, inside and out.
So the last personal question that we have for Miss KJ, and this was something that we were really, the moment meant so much to us, was so imprinted on our memory, everything about it, was tell us what you thought when you put it out there that you would meet people in Gatlinburg, and we were already scheduled to come to Gatlinburg, and we reached out. What did you really think when you seen us there sitting at the tree, giddy as we could be, didn't want you to go nowhere away from us. We wanted every little second with you. What did you really think?
Well, when you had reached out and asked that you wanted to meet and everything, first of all, I thought you weren't really
scared. Just me said scared. I don't blame you. I said I would have been scared if I was her.
Right. I didn't believe it. You know, I've heard a lot of comments where people say, "Yeah, I'd love to meet you," but then you never hear back from them. I was just like, well, I'm open to that. But at the same time, it had to be in a public place. Mm-hmm. I was very apprehensive. I wasn't scared. I was nervous. I had never done anything like this. Many of y'all know I've never been on YouTube before I opened the channel. I'm just an old country girl. And I didn't understand why anybody would want to come see me. I didn't see it and the way that y'all have talked about me over all this time, I think they're starting to realize that there is no one that's, I don't know. They kind of build me up a little bit more than I'm just your normal, everyday girl that loves life and loves just people. Mm-hmm. And I love y'all. I love everyone the best I can, even the people that don't like me. I don't have to hang out with somebody to love them.
Yeah.
But it was quite the adventure. It's something I'd never done before, and I was a little nervous. But when we broke the ice and all of that stuff, it ended up, I promise y'all, yesterday evening I was sitting eating this wonderful meal at Jenny's mother's table, and her husband Bobby, Joyce and Bobby. I looked over and I said, if you would have told me when I met y'all in Gatlinburg that I'd be sitting here eating some of your mama's cooking, I wouldn't have believed it. But I felt very strongly about these two women. It's very rare that I will go to bat for anyone, and they can handle themselves just fine. But they're real, y'all. They're real people. They're not no better than nobody else. KJ's not. Y'all are just as good. We're all even Steven. Mm-hmm. In fact, I'm sure they can agree. Yes. It's through y'all's communications, your comments and stuff, that it educates me. It helps me. Any content that I come up with on my channel, I can't speak for these ladies, but I can speak for KJ and the Ray. Y'all are that channel that do subscribe to it. I'm just deeply humbled and honored, really am. And you got to come this evening to KJ and the Ray's Ray Room chat at 5 p.m. The announcement's on the homepage. I've got some surprises for y'all. I love all of y'all. We're going to do something. You're going to think, oh my goodness, she's going to do this. Is she really going to do this? Trust me, it does apply to this case. This is to help us open up our minds to questions that we have not even formulated yet that might help us gain understanding, justice through understanding, and even lead us down a road to clues, things that we can fill in the mosaic of the adjudication process of the case of Lori and Chad Daybell, the freaking doomsday couple.
That's right.
That's right.
I was explaining to KJ that when she would make those 3 videos a week, that I was looking forward to them. I felt like she was talking right to me.
Yeah.
Right to me. And I see a little bit of a reflection of myself in her. She was interested in what I was interested in. She seems good-hearted. You know, sinner saved by grace. These are all the things I am. Just trying to do the best I can in life, right?
I paid her $20 to say that.
And that's why when she said, you know, I remember she said she was going to be in Panama City Beach over Thanksgiving, and she and I were like, how can we get there? But we had to work. And we were like, oh, we're just going to have to let it go. We'll just be so envious when people are meeting her. And then
This is silly, really.
we decided to go to Anakeesta for a day and a half.
Already
Had it planned. Already had it planned.
Had a room, everything.
Already had it planned. And then she says, I'm going to be in Gatlinburg the very day we were going to be there. And she would meet. And we were like,
And I didn't get an invitation to go see Anakeesta.
I know.
They should have invited me to Anakeesta.
Well,
but instead they had to meet me in a public area with a great big tree at this big, huge resort over there. And Jenny walks up to the counter, and I'm off in another room with a glass door. She walks back over and tells Candace, she's over there.
Yeah. Well, we thought we might be in the wrong place.
We did.
But y'all, it was so funny and humorous about it. Is I'm just an everyday person.
And
just
tell them what
silly.
you said you were going to do. You were going to get your husband to take a picture and say, where are y'all at?
I didn't think they were going to show up. But I'll tell you one thing right now. This week has been incredible. I have gained a lot of justice through understanding. We've had a lot of time to talk about this case off the record. We have, they have shared a little bit of their plans for their future live streams or any pre-records that they might share. We are dedicated and committed to helping Cresha K. Easton in difficult research. Anything that she needs, all she has to do is ask. Cresha, I hope you're listening.
That's right.
Yes.
And I just want to congratulate both of y'all. Folks, they made their 1,000 subscriber mark to do live streams quicker than KJ did. And yet they're sitting here saying, I'm something. I'm nothing. These are the ones right here. It's going to take them time. Y'all know I dang fell over myself plenty of times trying to get used to all this. I'd never done it before. These ladies put their heart and soul into everything they do. And most importantly, they're being real with you. And people understand that. People are not stupid. They know when someone's being real and when somebody's being fake. And I'm honored. I'm honored that anybody would take the time to be,
We are honored.
On KJ and the Ray or with Candace and my friend Jenny. I think they're incredible women. And I want to ask them both a question, if they don't mind.
Okay.
Jenny, what do you like the most about Candace?
Oh gosh, there's so much to love. Candace has a big, huge, pure heart, and she makes me better because she loves Jesus, and we talk about that a lot, and I do think that makes me a better person. I'm better when I'm around her.
Candace, what is the most beautiful thing, beautiful attribute of Jenny?
Jenny is 100% one of the most given people I have ever seen.
You really are.
She gives to her grandkids. She doesn't even think about it. She doesn't care if she gets sleep. She just wants to be there for all the people in her life. sometimes she don't even have to be related to them, to patients, she just gives her whole self. She empties her whole self in service to people.
I think it's beautiful, don't all of you? And for those of you that figured it out and subscribed to Candace and my friend Jenny, I'm telling you, I'm excited for everything they're going to do down the road. I love you ladies a lot.
We love you.
I've made friends for life, y'all.
Yes.
That's right.
And I'm trying to talk Crescia and her family and Candace and all them to come down to Tennessee. Oh, KJ knows how to spoil people. And they've spoiled me all week long. They've given me so much of their time. Jenny had to work yesterday, and she shows up over at her mom's after work, after being at work all day long. Just very attentive, very wonderful people. They just seem to it's been like Christmas for me this whole week. They've just been, I never expected any of this at all. I just wanted to meet them in person, spend some time with them, enjoy the month of surprise, because at 5 p.m. North Carolina time, you'll have to check the announcement. KJ and the Ray's going to surprise the living heck out of all of y'all. We're going to talk about some stuff that is going to be a little uncomfortable, but it might, it might open up a door to understand something that you've been searching about this case, okay?
And KJ, I promise you, God is not done with our story yet. I promise. Right, Jenny?
That's right.
God put us together for a reason.
That's right.
We don't know the full reason, but I can assure you, he ain't done yet.
That's right.
So,
Carrie Livingston, hello there.
that's right. So we're gonna sign off, right, Jenny?
Yeah, because we got to get ready.
We got to get ready. We got things to do. We got things to do. We cannot thank you enough for joining us.
Thank you
on
enough.
This was their very first live stream, y'all.
That's right.
And I know they were so excited. And now to see all of y'all show up for them and support them, that means everything in the world to me. It makes me remember what it was like when I was accepted and loved as well. It really does touch my heart. I love all of you, and I know they love you.
Yes,
That's
we
right.
love y'all, and we thank y'all all for subscribing and joining us today
That's
on
right.
our first live feed.
So that was Carrie Livingston. So what do you always say?
We're going to sign off, so we're going to say Prince Charming's mom, Tina Reddington,
Ron Hensley, always supportive.
Kathy,
Vivian Lundgren, Sis One, Miss DMC, Just Me. I mean, we about sound like
That's
like
right.
a little choir right here.
Susan Purdy,
Linda
Everhart,
Everhart,
yay,
San Willow, Sis One.
Yeah,
Tastefully frugal.
Well, Sis One says, keep on looking.
Keep
Amen.
Keep on
That's
looking.
right.
Little Browns, Monica,
Monique Morissette.
Oh, excuse me.
That's okay.
I'm wearing glasses, Monique.
Michelle
I can't see nothing.
D'Angelo. Thank y'all so
We
much.
love
right.
you all.
Love y'all.
Mwah.
Mwah.
And what do y'all always say at the end?
So until
Artie
next
Johnson.
time, Artie Johnson,
Bye.
bye.